There you go. You're literally up on my mantle because that's where you belong. My wonderful, fantastic supporters. And no, I'm not about to ask you for money. Even though it kind of sounds like I'm going there with all of this ass kissing. But, I mean, as always, remember to like, share, subscribe, hit up my Patreon if you want to help me out that way. The link to that is in the description below, along with the links to my Instagram and Facebook pages closely related to the content I'm posting on this channel. That being said, I have a new home, and that means new sights to be seen, well, since I'm kind of in generally near the area where I grew up, old stories to be recalled, possibly. Anyway, what I'm getting at is, I think it's high time I started doing some therapy walks. Hi everybody, walking to this end again. Now my first exploration around the area, I went off that way. However, and I was wondering if there was a way to access the bike path in the vicinity of this place, and there is, because it's right here, up yonder, dead end. Yeah, for vehicles, not for me. So I'm gonna go up. This is just nice because, like, I don't really necessarily want to go down the bike path at, well, late at night. But this is really appealing. This is really, it's good to know that I can get off the max and, like, beeline it down the bike path instead of having to, like, cut through the mall where there's a lot of sketchy people and, like, just the whole rigmarole, having to climb up the hill, wrap around a bunch of stuff. I can just beeline it down the old bike path. However, here's one of the reasons why I might not want to do it at night, is because, like, yeah, I'm next to the apartments, but I'm also in an area where someone may be more inclined to mess with you. That's these walls actually do surprisingly well. Like, the sound of the freeway here, substantially louder than even just a little ways over there. And when I'm inside the apartment, the walls are really thick, which I appreciate. But yeah, I don't even hear the freeway at all when I'm inside. So I can just zoom down this path from the Max stop. And then even up here, you can come out along Monterey, which is it's the road between the apartments and the mall, between all these apartments and the mall. So I have options aside from having to wrap around all this stuff and going through the mall parking lot. It doesn't even have to be nighttime. There's always at least one really raging, angry person going through those lights. I'm thinking of the lights in the parking lot, but going through that parking lot at night. And I remember one time, me and my girlfriend were walking across the street from the parking garage that's there, where all the buses are, and it's kind of where a lot of the lines start. And all of a sudden, this guy he's just like walking alongside the building, going the opposite direction we are, and like across from us. All of a sudden, these two police officers come around the corner like, hey, you, come over here. And the guy literally is like, no, fuck you, I'm going home. And I think they went after him. I don't know what the guy did or why the police were following him. He was raging, I'll tell you that much. He was having a good old-fashioned American rage. And it's just, it was entertaining. Ooh, do we have a tunnel up here? It's where my train would pop out, going into the end of the line up there, or you know, going back that way when I'm going to work. Tunnel. It's not that ominous. Thought it might look a little more creepy. Now, I'm not going this way. I'm gonna turn and go this way, go up Monterey. But, you know, it's a little tunnel. But yeah, so it comes out here too. And, so my last, or I guess my first video where I kind of explored, I just did kind of a big oval pattern, just a little bit north of where I am right now. So I'm gonna kind of go meander just a little further south of there. That is my plan. Take in some sights, go down some streets I haven't been down before. There's the mall off to your left. So, you know, it's always fun when the mall's is in sight. Good old CTC. Clackamas Town Center, for those that aren't from the area. And the competing Century Theater, that is not the one I work at. But I remember when it opened, we had to wear these big baggy ass shirts that were promoting the new theater, and like all we had was extra larges. Like, you know, these people that were like, you know, 5'5" and like 100 pounds, they were literally having to tie them off at the waist like they were dresses, and they just would hang down to like their knees. Me, it was like just stuffing a garbage sack into my work pants. And, you know, being in such close proximity to the mall, there's lots of dining options on the other side of it. That's the thing. There's so many more dining options here than we had before. We had like 4 or 5 fast food spots, and like, I mean, there was like a Red Robin there, but hey, there's a Red Robin up over there too. And I was like, we're not gonna get Baja Fresh anymore. And then I found out that literally Sunnyside Road up over there, there's like a Baja Fresh like right over there. That's actually probably closer than the one we had. So even the dining options that we normally had where we lived, a lot of those are available in this area and are closer. But anyway, that's what I was saying. You know, inevitably, I don't know, might do a little walk through the mall. Haven't been to the mall since, whoa! I mean, obviously pre-pandemic. It's been a while since I've been to the mall. Probably late 2019 or something. Me, oh my. Okay, we got some rocks here. Some rock formations. We've got, are these like swimmer ants? Oh, and they rotate. This is, I don't remember ever seeing this. And I usually would pull out like right here on the bus. I don't recognize these. These might be new. Seriously, they look like they're like swimming, but like they have ant heads. These little red heads with antennas. Is this supposed to bring people back to the... I mean, I think it's awesome, but it's also like a little bit creepy in a way. I like it though. I don't remember ever seeing this. This maybe just never caught my eye. Oh, Clackamas Town Center. Oh boy, we got somebody getting loaded into a ambulance. I mean, I hate to say that's, you know, I'd like to say that's not the first time I've seen something like that happen, but oh no, you're allowed to dine in now. That means I can actually go in and get food. Not today. I also see on the Wendy's building, quality is our recipe. So does that mean everything in their food is just quality? Can I get a large quality, hold the quality? These are some dad jokes. I'm breaching on dad humor here. And I can already see, I know there's a lot more apartments over here. This is one of the areas, in addition to over where I live now, over there. This is one of the areas my friend and I, when we were looking for, well, I mean, kind of looking for an apartment. This is another area as we looked at some of this stuff, which would have been convenient. It kept us near 82nd. I could just beeline it up 82nd on the bus to work, but that situation got nowhere. I did a big long video about it, but since I love telling stories, I'll give you the abridged version in case you never saw that video. Hey, what's up, Jay? Oh no, he took off. Oh no, there he is. Hello, you. Oh, are we crossing is this a creek? Is this like a real, or is this just like a homeless maid? Yeah, this looks very homeless. There's probably at least a few people down there, so I don't want to be rude. And I can only assume this is like I mean, I have to check. I am Steve the Amateur Historian. And there's no sign that said I can't go over here. Like, this looks like a real trail. Peeps. Oh God, they're molded. Oh, first spider web. A shoe. Yeah, there's lots of stuff just kind of left out here. Yeah, there's a tent there. Well, that's about what I figured. This just looks like a legitimate trail, or at least it was at some point. Anyway, we got a little exploration in there. A little off-road exploration. Didn't really go anywhere, but whatever. Anyway. Yeah, so anyway, the abridged version of me and my friend getting an apartment, which went absolutely nowhere. So pretty much, I want to say it was early 2014. His family was starting to fall apart. His mom was nuts. His sisters were nuts. His dad was very his dad was pretty much, if you get this reference, his dad looked and acted a lot like Mr. Buzzcut from Beavis and Butthead. He was a little authoritarian. So my friend was inevitably going to need to find a new place. And so we'd been friends for like 4 years. So we started, talking about it. And we drove around and like looked at a few spots. Then I pretty much did all the research, found like 30 random places we could apply to that were like $850 a month or less. Because granted, this is right before the rent hike got like real bad. So there's actually, you could find spots for like $800 a month that were like 2-bedroom. In this general area. Well, after discussing it, he just kind of stopped talking to me. And again, this is where I take some responsibility in the matter. I didn't harp on him about it either, but he was the one who was going to guaranteed need to find a new place to live. I had a place to live. Granted, I wasn't happy there and wanted to get out of there, but I had a place. So all of a sudden, we're just not talking. And then like a couple months go by and we start talking about it again. And I get all these resources together and we contact one spot. Or it's the first spot that we contact, and it's great. It's like $850 a month. We have our own washer and dryer. It's 2-bedroom. It's perfect. But these get snatched up quick. So we get 2 applications from the woman. I do mine, and I say we couldn't quite get them done, and I had to go home. So I said, okay, I'm gonna come by, pick yours up, and I'm literally gonna hoof it over there. I was willing to do all the dirty work. I wake up the next day, try to get in touch with him. He's gone on vacation with his dad for a few days. Application's not done. So guess who didn't get that apartment? Because he just left. So anyway, so that doesn't go down. I'm annoyed because I did all of this work and it went nowhere. So then another couple months go by and this guy doesn't pretty much is just incommunicado. And it's getting to be late 2014. It was like October, and we sit and we have this, it's like the 3rd or 4th time we've had a serious discussion about this, and we have this heart-to-heart talk, and we give ourselves this ultimatum. We need to get ourselves in a spot by Christmas. That gives us 2.5 months to find a spot. And then, I kid you not, now I'm already annoyed because my friend keeps flaking off. I kid you not, less than 2 days later, his dad, because again, his family was falling apart and they were going to lose their home and everyone was going to kind of need to go their own way. His dad manages to rent out a house and he's like, oh, hey, I'm going to go live with my dad for a while. Isn't it cool? And it wasn't even like, oh, hey, I've got a place to live. Can we put the whole apartment thing on hold for a while? It was almost like the whole apartment thing didn't exist. He didn't say sorry for wasting my time. There was nothing. He just he got what he wanted and I could go fuck myself, essentially. That was kind of the prevailing attitude about that. So, and, that was the moment. We've been talking about this for almost a year. And I was fed up. I was getting sick and tired of doing all of the work, him disappearing, and then him not talking to me for 2 or 3 months, literally at a time, and then jumping on my case oh, we're gonna get an apartment, is it gonna, you literally just stopped talking, and then all of a sudden, And it was like when things would calm down, he'd be like, oh, I still got time. And then something big would happen, like his dad would move out. And also, it's like, oh, we gotta get an apartment. And then he found, he moved into his place with his dad, and I got kicked to the curb. And that was the moment I decided I'm not getting an apartment with this guy because he's completely unreliable. I was still good friends with him at the time, but he was just unreliable. And so then we go and, we hang out a little bit, but he's living at his dad's, and there was a period, hell yeah, brother. There was a period of time where he was living with his grandma, and he hated it. But again, he'd still only, passively bring up the whole apartment thing. So I finally decided I'm not getting an apartment. And I remember at one point he was like, we need to just do this. We need to not worry about money. We need to just do this. And I'm like, dude, what fairy tale world are you living in? That is the worst possible thing you can do, is just jump into something expensive or more expensive than what either of us have had in the past, and just be like, don't even worry about the money. We'll be fine. Oh, really? In what universe? Yeah, you have family members. You have, a mom and a dad that you can mooch off of. I don't have that. So, it was all about what he wanted and not about what I wanted. So eventually, and then he tried to get me to do it one more time. This absurd setup. He was like, yeah, I'm hoping to move with my girlfriend soon, but she's not quite ready. So, like, can we get a spot? And I'm like, I didn't have the money at the time, and I'd been back together with my girlfriend for over a year, and we'd already been talking about getting an apartment together. And so I'm like, well, yeah, which is not a weird thing, talking about getting an apartment with your girlfriend. In fact, I just did that last week. But this is when we were first talking about it. And so I think he got a little butthurt that I said no to moving into an apartment with him. And the understanding was that his girlfriend would move in a few months later, and I would just move out and I guess hopefully have a new spot to live in. It was ridiculous. Again, it was all about him and his needs, and my needs didn't matter. And then start of 2017, I moved in with my friend Nick, as I was already doing this channel. And I think he got real butthurt about that not only did I eventually find a place, which by this time he'd found a place for himself too, with some other people. But I think he got real butthurt that I not only found a place too, but I found a place with someone who was a mutual friend between us. And it seems after I moved in there, he was just an absolute dick to me. No friendship qualities at all anymore. The last time I saw him before he moved his dumb ass to Vegas was he showed up at the theater because he used to work there, and he comes, and I'm still trying to be cordial with the guy. He comes out of the office, and I see him and I smile, and he just gave me this glare and walked away. He made sure that I knew that he saw me, and then he walked away. And that was the last time I saw him till New Year's. I believe it was 2020, it may have been 2020 or 2019, I don't remember now, but yeah, so he came home for, back up here for New Year's. And yeah, I saw him. One of the managers there was like, hey Josh, look who it is. And he just looked at me, he was like, hey Steve, and then went back to his phone. It was like, I wasn't there. And after he moved to Vegas, he got married, and one of the guys that I work with, who's close friends with him, went to his wedding, and he came back home, and I don't think he knows about what's happened with us, but he was like, yeah, we missed you at his wedding. And I'm like, well, maybe you missed me because I wasn't fucking invited. So yeah, he decided to be a big baby about all that, and just apparently decided I'm a horrible friend because I didn't get an apartment with him because he was completely unreliable and it was going nowhere anyway. And something that I didn't really notice at the time, but other people did, and then I really started to notice it when our friendship kind of crumbled, and I was like, why is this guy being such an ass? Was he had a really bizarre kind of possessive nature about me that was really strange. When I told him that I got back together with my girlfriend, he had this total just kind of oh. He thought I had some big news to tell him. And I was like, yeah, I got back together with my girlfriend. It is big news. And he would just always, I like this very old beat up church with this bell that's in a cross. Anyway, like my best friend Scott, like this guy could not accept that I had another friend who was my best friend. You know, and at this time, this guy that I was trying to get an apartment with, we'd been friends for like, you know, 3 or 4 years. My other friend Scott, who lives in Seattle, I've been best friends with for now almost 21 years. And he just couldn't handle that I wouldn't call him my best friend instead. And he would refer to my other friend as that asshole from Seattle. And I'm like, wow. He couldn't handle, like, you know what I mean? I'm not 100% sure what that all meant. But yeah. And then it was just like, it was like he felt like he had some kind of control over me. Like we had to do all these things together. We had to get an apartment together. So when I got an apartment with somebody else, it was like betrayal. It was effing weird in retrospect. And I haven't seen him since that New Year's Day. He's got, you know, his family in Vegas. He's doing whatever he's doing. I really don't care. You know, he's gone this way with his life. I'm going over here with my life. And, and then way off in the distance, that building there, that is the North Clackamas Aquatic Park. I knew ye well. I miss that place so much, even though I can't. It looks like there's a bunch of cars there. I really hope it's not open. That would be a COVID cesspool. Even if they like controlled and monitored. And yeah, I've just always loved this area. Like they have like a volleyball thing outside of the aquatic park. There's like basketball hoops over here. Oregon Institute of Technology, like a branch off, is back there. I used to play Clackamas Youth League basketball games there. You see, the memories are flowing back, and they're not all just negative apartment drama. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, it's just, in the end, it's interesting that I ended up living in one of the primary areas that me and my once friend were looking through several years ago. Boom! I'm trying not to touch it with my hand. And I made it to Milwaukee. So there's like this big nature area over here that I swear like you're not allowed to go into. Like I know if you enter way up there by the railroad tracks and 82nd, there's like a bunch of no trespassing signs, even though there's nobody monitoring it. But yeah, I don't know if there's any stretch that well, I guess I probably shouldn't cross now that I think about it. There's really nowhere for me to go. But yeah, I'm just wondering if there is any place that you can access this. It could be that there's railroad lines that go through there, so maybe they think it's unsafe. I don't know. But yeah, there's no sidewalk on the other side of the street, so maybe I should just keep... Ooh, garden patio, pavers and flagstone. I do not know what flagstone is, but it sounds awesome. Yeah, because there's this fence up. Because if there was a trail, like, is this a trail? I'm wondering. Oh man, somebody doesn't like traffic law photo enforcement because they plowed right through this thing. Madrona Drive. If I'm correct, well, I know that she lived in this general area. My media comm teacher used to live here, and who me and my friend Scott were chill with our first year. And the second year it all went to hell, and we hated her. In fact, we kind of stopped being friends for a while just because he got a little too cocky. His personality kind of started changing. I didn't like it, and we kind of were estranged from each other by the start of our senior year. And taking the media class together and our hatred of our teacher kind of brought us back together. So in a way, I guess we need to thank her. And I don't have any idea what house it was. I just know it was in this vicinity, and obviously I wouldn't be like giving out the address, but yeah, she was horrible. I remember once, the most obnoxious thing me and my friend would do, we did it periodically, because we were, 19, 20 years old. We would get in our cars and we would drive by anywhere that we knew a teacher of ours lived. And it was either out of respect to a degree or out of hate. We would, actually, I think this might be her house that she lived in. I remember it was kind of a crappy little house. It had firewood on the side, a lot of tree branches down. Anyway, We would drive past their house at like, 11, 12 o'clock at night, maybe even into the early morning hours, and just scream their name as we drove by. It was very infantile. But again, you're talking about two, like, 18, 19, 20-year-old guys. And I know we drove by her house and screamed her name at least once. One of our coaches that lived really close to my friend, we did that to him at least 5 times. Even the guy that was in our media class who lived around the corner, we screamed his name too. There was a lot of shenanigans that we got ourselves into. Nothing dangerous, but just a lot of just, again, we were young. We were energetic. At least I was a lot more energetic back then. Of course, you would expect that between being 19 and 35 freaking years of age. God, where did the time go? I'm not even 40 yet, and I'm already starting to ask that question. Like, where did the time go? I really get it. My teens didn't really seem to go by that fast, but my 20s, they were just here and gone. And I actually feel like my 30s are going maybe a little slower than my 20s. But I still am just like, what happened? What happened in my 20s? Like, I did stuff. I didn't start doing YouTube till I was 30. Or, I didn't start doing it like this. So this whole thing has been exclusively a thing I've done in my 30s. But yeah, I started making, but even when I started making movies, I was like 26 and a half. There's that period from the time I was like 21 to like 26. Like, yeah, I went to University of Portland and all that, but it's just everything feels like such a blur. I'm gonna stop talking about it. I'm getting way too woozy about my life. I also need to pay attention exactly to where I'm going so I don't get lost in this mess of streets. Brood. That's what I'm always doing. I'm always brooding. Now climbing up Juniper, heading up to Aspen. These darling names. I swear there's like a Juniper Street like in every town in Clackamas County, because I know there's one in Oak Grove. I think there's one in Milwaukee. I want to say I saw one in Oregon City once. I could be confused. I'm starting to get a little hot under the collar. Look at this absolute unit. The Ditch Witch. The Ditch Witch 800. Or no, it's 800 gallons. 800 freaking gallons. Oh my God, I can't get around this road work. Am I screwed? It doesn't say sidewalk closed, although it looks a little that way. Okay, I'm just gonna have to figure out my way through this drama. Oh no, big truck coming. Is that the Ditch Witch? No, it's just dump truck. Okay. It's like the Ditch Witch is coming for me. Okay, I can get through this. It's just not optimal. Doing what I gotta do. Figures this place would be just completely torn apart upon my arrival. Some construction guys can be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I gotta walk on one side of the road. I'm going this direction. It's bullshit. Ooh, that's a big meaty device. That is not safe to walk on. I feel like I should just stay here, even though it's a little tight, but it seems like there's just a lot of random stuff going on here that I don't want to. Actually, I can cross here. And there's it's the Linwood End Sojourner School. Am I saying that right? Sojourner? This used to be the Sojourner. I'm sorry, my mouth is getting dry. But anyway, the Sojourner School used to be at my old elementary school, and then they moved it, and now I know where they moved it to. They moved it to Linwood. I remember another thing me and my friend loved to do was we loved to go to, late at night when we'd hang out, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, we would just go to like elementary schools or playgrounds and just hang out, I think it was because we both had really high metabolisms. We both were in this phase where it was just everything is physical activity. And so we would just be passing the time and, talking about stuff and thinking about stuff. And we would just be like going down the slide and doing pull-ups while we were there. At the time, it was fun, and I loved the memory, but reflecting back now, I could see how some people might think that's a little odd, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Yeah, because this playground equipment here, I don't even think this was here though when we did that, because I know they did a lot of upgrades on this place. Ooh, nice pool. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I think it'd be full of various forms of bacteria. An obstruction of sorts. You can't stop me. Hope nobody's gonna think to walk on that. I'm sure at least somebody will. Oh, excuse me. It's just lined with construction. I love it. You got the big guy walking up, and he's got this line of cars behind him, like he's leading this row of cars to the promised land. Hello, man on a bicycle. That's just hilarious. Just right there. It's just a big guy on his backhoe, and he's got this like slew of cars that he's like leading down the street. Look at this house here. It looks like they took like the portions of 4 different houses and then just kind of rammed them together. That being said, I think that the big boy's just starting to come over the ridge. Oh, cutting through. Alright, so there's a few side streets I can cut through. I've seen Linwood more times than I can count. The objective is to ultimately zigzag my way back up to King Road. May even hit up the Walmart or something else. I now turned onto Eunice Street. I'm gonna do a little turn. I'm gonna be up to Monroe, where I was the other day. Look at the beauties. I'm actually only like a block or 2 away from where I was when I was walking my last video when I revealed our new apartment. It was literally like right the other side of these houses here, because I also came up to Monroe. Except I'm not gonna turn and go down Monroe, because then I would just be covering the same ground. I'm gonna keep going north to King Road, and I'm thinking I might take the bike path. I'm starting to get real tired. Now, mind you, I haven't really had a solid day of rest, or even like a considerable piece of a day's rest in like 10 days. Today's like my first day off where perceivably I don't have to really do much. We do have to get our, apartment still organized a bit, but yeah, between dealing with the drama of getting the apartment, getting all that stuff taken care of, dealing with the renter's insurance fiasco of 2021 that we had going on, packing up and throwing a bunch of stuff away, the move itself, which I had to work that day, then I had to work the next day, and yeah, just several days of when I just want to fall over. And I've only probably walked like 4 miles. I didn't want to do too big of a walk. I'm just really wiped out from recent events. Moving takes an emotional and physical toll on all of us. Queen Road. I saw this from the other side when I walked through yesterday, and it's real pretty through here. Just a little pretty. So I'm gonna walk through. I don't know how pretty it'll come out on camera, but especially with the trees up ahead. Yeah, right through here, it's particularly, I like these little patches where there's lots of trees. Another reason I like the fact that there's so many trees around our apartment. It's very, also, one of the really cool things about our apartment, our building is facing north. All of this sun is on the other side of the building. So we get none of that bright daytime sun along with the trees. So our apartment isn't going to get remotely as hot as other units are. Oh, look at his mutt. Roof. I did that roof and he was like, what did you say? Where that dog comes from, those are fighting words, let me tell you. All right, so I'm coming up to whatever the street was that I got up to King Road from the other day. So my routes are converging. They're coming full circle. Yeah, 70th Avenue, see? Yeah, I was coming from this way, walking up here to King Road. And I actually passed the street and looked down and I thought, that looks very pretty. So the routes are converging. I wonder if they're ever gonna do anything with this property. This property's just been empty for like years. They got the no trespassing signs up, which is good, but I just wonder if they're ever gonna do anything. Ah, and there's where I used to get on the bus. But it looks like there's no bus stop there anymore. I mean, it don't affect me. But yeah, there used to be a bus stop right across the street from here. Well, I guess it's still there. They just don't have the prestigious sign. All right. Coming to the notorious intersection of King Road and 82nd. Why do I call it notorious? I don't know. It sounded dramatic. Honestly, I don't know if there's anything notorious about this intersection at all. Burlington Coat Factory. I guess they just call it Burlington now, but ooh, look at this ride over here. Okay, I'm just going this way because I can cut through here and get to the bike path. That's my plan. I don't see any crackheads. Not yet. What the hell? Is that like an old computer monitor? Timeout. Maybe, yeah, I think that's one of those old school computer monitors that looks like it sustained some fire damage, or maybe that's just some rot. Goodies to be, I'm sorry, I saw that and I had to stop for a second to refigure my life. I also need to refigure some sunscreen into my life because being out in this sun, I wonder what used to be here. I could very easily burn my Pacific Northwest Portland skin. Could burn nice and quick like this banana peel. But yeah, there was some, I'm guessing, business that used to be here. Anyway, gone now. I didn't even realize like this was back here. You see all that industrial stuff along 82nd. You think this is just kind of some dead stretch of road between the freeway and 82nd, but it's actually a pretty cute little neighborhood buried back in here on a couple of streets that are kind of wedged again between hustling and bustling 82nd Avenue and the freeway. I never would have guessed this stuff was here. Of course, it's a bunch of uphill crap. But whatever, I'm just enjoying the view that I didn't know was here. God, I'm gonna get annoyed if I get sunburnt. I don't look like I'm gonna get sunburnt. I haven't been out here super duper long, but I have been exposed to pretty warm sun for a lengthy period of time. Sure, the fact that the last several months that has not really been the case, so I'm just hoping I don't get sunburnt. What the F is that big thing? What are you? Should lead me right into the bike path. Yes. Yes, excellent. My ploy worked. What ploy? I don't know. Once again, dead end for some of you, not for those of us that chose to take to the streets on foot, who, you know, are gonna get where they need to go in about 10 times as much time. This is the last little leg of my trip. I'm gonna hook a right and venture home. Unless there's some tasty drama around the corner. Nope. This is very lacking in drama. I'm gonna try to stay towards this end, get as much shade as I can. All right, so by the time I'm done with this little trek, I will have walked probably about 5.5 miles, so not bad for a day's walk. I'm gonna get home, cool off, lemonade ice, water, and then I'm gonna start organizing some crap. I know I'm almost home because the apartment complexes, they be popping out. So since I'm practically there and I don't see anything crazy, bizarre, strange happening, video worthy between now and home, I'm gonna depart because I actually think I'm like 2 blocks away. I can almost see the roof of my apartments. So I just want to say thank you for coming along with me. This will be a fresh dosage of therapy walks version 3.0, because I did them a bunch in the summer and early fall of 2019. I did a bunch of them last summer, kind of going into the fall. So it's kind of like I do them when the weather gets nice and I have new places to travel, and then I kind of take a break. So this is the next version in that installment. So thank you so much. I'm probably gonna be doing more of these, you know, now that I have more new frontiers to explore. And so yeah, there'll be, you know, more of these types of videos coming out of the pike, me actually getting out and kind of exploring around again. So all that said, thank you again for watching. Thank you for your support. Whether you're new to the channel or you've been a long-time supporter, I appreciate all you that watch my stuff, support my channel, do what you can to help it grow. If you want to help me out in that vein, you can like, subscribe, share my content around. You can hit up my Patreon, which would be really helpful for me and what I'm doing, and allow me to continue doing it as much as possible. The link to my Patreon page is in the description of this video, as well as the links to my Instagram and Facebook pages related to the content that I'm doing here on this channel. So you can go take a look at those if you wish. Whew, and all that said, it's been a heck of a walk. Very nice day. Hope I don't get sunburned. And till next time, it's been Steve the Amateur Historian.